Our movie starts with a tech scientist named Will with his wife Evelyn as they prepare for a conference to showcase their project. We notice that Will isn't too excited about the conference. Upon arriving at the conference hall, they meet their friend Max, who takes the stage to present his project. Then, Evelyn takes the stage introducing the topic of artificial intelligence and inviting Will, her husband, to present their project. Will emphasizes that no matter how advanced human intelligence may be in any field, it fades out in comparison to artificial intelligence, which can quickly surpass human capabilities in every field. At the same time Will was on stage, we saw an explosion in one AI lab and an attack on another lab where scientists were killed. We return to Will, who expresses his desire to combine artificial intelligence with human emotions. One of the attendees objects, suggesting that Will is essentially creating his own god. Will responds stating that this is what everyone wants to achieve. After the conference, the man who objected to Will's ideas took out a gun and fired at Will. Evelyn and Max took Will to the hospital. Meanwhile, on TV, they hear about attacks on institutions and labs related to artificial intelligence, with the people behind those attacks still unknown. Max tells Will and Evelyn that many scientists have died. Will then asks Max about a scientist named Joseph. Max confirms that he is safe and currently with federal investigators. Max, Evelyn, and Will go to the office where they meet Joseph and the federal agent Ken, who has been investigating all the incidents. Afterwards, they all head to Will's office. There, Ken presents them with a statement released by the organization responsible for the attacks called Rift. It states that artificial intelligence is illegal and poses a threat to humanity, and they will cease any attacks if Will stops his project. Will refuses to suspend his project. That night, Evelyn hears Will being unwell and rushes to him quickly. They then take him to the hospital and conduct the necessary tests. The next day, the doctor informs Will along with Evelyn and Max that the test results indicate that the bullet Will survived was coated with a substance called polonium, a slow-acting radioactive element. He tells them that Will has at most 5 weeks to live because the substance has entered his bloodstream. They are all shocked. Will suffers every night with Evelyn by his side. The next day, Will sits down with Max and tells him that Joseph sent him the consciousness transfer file and expresses his desire to go to the lab to study it. However, Max refuses because he doesn't want to spend the last month of his life working. Will agrees with him, and the next day he gathers everything work-related and has it transferred to the office. When Evelyn asks him why he's doing this, he tells her that he's decided to spend the rest of his life with her, not at work. Evelyn packs the boxes to take them to the office, but decides to return home with them to study more about her husband's project. As days pass, Will falls into depression as he was a very successful person in his field, and now he is dying, and his work will die with him. Days pass, and Evelyn talks to Joseph, learning that he wants to continue Will's project. Joseph reassures her not to worry about the pen project. Evelyn then goes and steals the consciousness transfer research from Joseph's computer. Afterwards, she goes to Max and tells him her idea, informing him that this research can clone the mind of a living being, specifically a monkey, and transfer it to a computer. She wants to do the same with Will by transferring his mind to the pen project. Max refuses, stating that Will is not a monkey and that there could be complications with such a procedure. However, Evelyn is determined to conduct this experiment because she believes it could save Will's conscience. Reluctantly, Max agrees to her proposal and Will also consents. Max and Evelyn then go to prepare Will and the room for the experiment. Before they begin, Will warns Max to be cautious of Evelyn. Days pass and the experiment fails repeatedly. One day, Evelyn wakes Will only to find him deceased. She continues to attempt the experiment even after his death several times, but it fails and she becomes desperate, wanting to bid him farewell for the last time. She sits and talks to the device supposed to transfer Will's consciousness, and suddenly, questions appear on the screen. Evelyn activates the microphone and asks if he can hear her. Will responds with his voice, recognizing Evelyn, but his speech is disorganized. Will starts to rewrite his code himself. He tells them that he needs more power to adjust himself, so he asks her to put him online. At this moment, Max shuts off the microphone and the camera, telling Evelyn that this is not Will, and he senses danger. However, Evelyn angrily insists that it is Will and that the memories appearing on the screen belong belong to both of them. Max remains firm in his belief and tells her they need to shut everything down until they figure out how to deal with it. Evelyn becomes even more upset with him and drives him away. She then talks to Will, and when he asks about Max, she tells him he's gone. And when Will asks if she's worried, she says no. Later, we see Max sitting in a bar where he meets a girl named Bree who is impressed by his work and asks him to join her organization. However, Max gets nervous and leaves quickly. As soon as he steps out, he encounters a group of people who attack and abduct him. The next day, a group of Max's kidnappers come, releasing him from captivity and taking him to a room where Bree is waiting. She asks him to talk about Evelyn and reveals that she knows everything he has been doing with her. At that moment, one of her squad informs them that they have reached her location. Bree instructs everyone to move quickly to her address. Max tries to stop them but fails. When they arrive at Evelyn's location, Will tells her to escape quickly. She indeed escapes before Bree and her team reach her. Will manages to steal millions of dollars and stores them in Evelyn's account. At that time, Evelyn is in the car nervous, so Will calls her on the phone and tells her about a safe place to go. He books a hotel for her to go. Meanwhile, Bree sits with Max and learns that Evelyn escaped before they could reach her. She tries to convince him to join them, tells him that it is up to him, and leaves him behind. The next day, we see Joseph sitting with Ken, reviewing Bree's file, and they realize that she's the cause of the attacks and everything. At that moment, all the office devices were under attack. However, Joseph tells Ken that he shouldn't consider this as a hack. It's assistance because now they can locate the suspect's location, so Bree and everyone with her flee before the federal agents arrive. Meanwhile, Evelyn and Will go to a small, not very pleasant town but suitable for construction. Evelyn buys all the buildings in the town. When she talks to an engineer named Martin about this matter, he is very surprised. After a while, Evelyn and Will transform this town into a large factory powering all the land with solar energy. News about this town and its energy spreads, and Bree asks Max to find a way to stop this project. Max tells her that they won't be able to stop this kind of energy as it will continue to spread and influence the whole world. 2 years later, the factory has developed beyond belief. One night, strangers attack the workers at Evelyn and Will's factory, injuring Martin severely. Will treats Martin and transfers his consciousness into Martin's body. The next day, Martin wakes up and goes to work as if nothing happened. When Evelyn finds out what Will did, she is shocked and can't believe it. Days pass and Joseph and Ken go to Evelyn's massive factory. There, they're surprised to be welcomed by Will. Joseph can't believe what he's seeing. Will then demonstrates his ability by restoring a blind man's sight effortlessly since he lost it. Before Joseph leaves, he discreetly hands Evelyn a note that says, "Escape from the place." Then he and Ken leave. Ken tells Joseph that Will wants to build an army to serve him, which is a threat to humanity. Max joins Bree's team and updates her on Will's consciousness transfer experiments. Bree wants to stop what's happening by any means before people start believing in it. Later, Max meets Joseph, who is surprised that Max is now part of Bree's organization. Max changes the subject and tells Joseph that he was the one who initially helped Evelyn and developed the code with her. Now, he can create a code to stop what Will is doing, but he needs government assistance to pull it off. One day, Evelyn was thinking about the situation and was upset. She talks to Will in a strange manner. The next day, Will asks her if she loves him or not, and she tells him she still does. He tells her that her hormones are confused, so Evelyn gets angry at him for reading her emotions. She leaves. At that moment, the lab explodes. Max, Ken, and the federal government are responsible for the explosion. All the workers gather around Evelyn to protect her. When Max shoots any one of the factory men, they seem to draw energy from the ground, undoing any harm done to them from the gunshots. They get back up and then attack Max and his team. The police manage to take Martin underground, where there is no internet connection to separate Will's consciousness from him. Evelyn leaves the place, fearful of Will's power. She notices the place renewing itself as if there were no explosions. Max takes a blood sample from Martin before he dies. After that, Evelyn goes to a hotel and sleeps. The next morning, the police come for her and arrest her, taking her to the place where they are building the virus. When she asks about Martin, Joseph informs her that the real Martin died months ago, and those with her are already dying. Max then informs her of the importance of the threat that the world will face because of Will. Evelyn gets nervous and tells them she will help, suggesting they inject the virus into her because Will previously offered to transfer her consciousness with his over the internet. Then she could destroy him with the virus once connected. They all agree to this plan, and Max injects her with the virus. Afterwards, they all go with her to the lab. There, Evelyn is surprised to see Will's standing before her by himself. She hugs him, deeply moved, and offers him to carry her consciousness, but he tells her she's now afraid of him and asks her why she feels that way and why she doesn't trust him. At that moment, the feds break in and the whole place is subjected to explosions, but Will remains motionless. Suddenly, Evelyn is injured, and Will moves towards her, carrying her and entering the lab. He instructs everyone with his consciousness to attack the police. Bree then points her gun at Max in front of one of the people under Will's control, threatening Will through him that she will kill Max if he doesn't carry the virus. Will apologizes to Max and tells him he won't carry the virus, but when he sees Evelyn dying, he speaks to her, telling her that he did it to protect her. He connects his conscious to hers to transfer his power to his wife to make her survive the gunshot. He apologizes and then he gets the virus implanted in her body. When he does this, all the people under Will's control collapse, and anyone injured returns to his normal state. Evelyn is relieved that he did this, and the two of them die in each other's arms. Afterwards, everything returns to normal. And with that, our movie comes to an end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and share it. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel, check out our previous videos, and stay tuned for upcoming ones. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and let us know in the comments what movie you would like to see next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.